Talking with Steve. Steve, you're with Allworth Money Matters.
Hey, guys, thanks for taking my call. So I figured I'd ask the experts. My wife and I...
but they weren't available.
Well, I mean, at least you know a lot about pumpkins.
Thank you.
The question is this. My wife and I have been faithful tithers for a long, long time, and God's blessed us. And one of the blessings that I have is a 401k that's done very well. But next year, like within a year or so, I may be retiring. I'm already in my 70s. So
how old are you?
And I'm 72.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I understand correctly, I'll need to, when I turn 73, I'll be required to RMD my 401k. And as part of that, that becomes income. And my question is really, how do you tithe on a 401k withdrawal? Because there's just some components that are a little confusing to me. One is that, you're putting money in. And then secondly, of course, you're taking money out. But then it fluctuates. I mean, you could have a really good year and you tithe on your profit, but then the next year, it's not a good year.
But wouldn't that be the same if you go back to biblical times, let's say, and where it was on the first fruits, right? You tithe, you bring your first fruits, but there would be some years you'd have big crops, and some years you'd have less crops. So a tithe would still be relative based upon the crop of the year, right?
Yeah. I guess I'm just confused about how to calculate all that.
Well, the government's going to do it for you.
I mean, so one way to do, and by the way, my wife and I started tithing when we were first married, and I think it's been a great discipline for us, not just spiritually, but financially, because when you give the finances, it kind of takes the money off yourself for a period of time. So I think there's a good discipline, regardless of one's spiritual convictions or not. But I mean, you can do it as just like if you take $50,000 out, then you're going to tithe 5% of that. But at over age 70, you can have money transferred directly to a charity and not have it come through your tax return, which would most likely be preferable for you. How much do you have in your 401k?
About $1.7 million.
How old's your spouse?
She's 60.
Oh, okay. And is the 401k all in your name, or does your spouse have any money in retirement accounts?
She has her own 401k. It's considerably smaller, but she has her own.
And when you retire, will there be any pension at all?
Yes.
Will you be living off any portion of your 401k?
Yeah, I think so, yes.
How much?
Oh, I'm going to say $40,000 a year now.
Okay, so here's kind of how it works. He'll walk you through it, and I'll give you 100% practical, and then you could do what you want with the information. When you go to retire next year, you're going to have to take it's got about a 3.5% distribution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So 3.5% distribution, which is about $60,000 a year.
Yes.
Right. So you're going to have to start this distribution. You can do it from your 401k, but I actually would use an IRA because it makes it so much easier to actually get this done.
So when you retire, transfer everything to an IRA.
Transfer everything. I would do it today, actually.
You're still working.
Just so many different. All right, do it whenever. It's not that isn't that material. So then you have to start taking about $60,000 out a year for your required minimum distribution. This money that goes to charities can be part of that $60,000 a year. That's how it works. And you have to name the charities and their tax ID numbers. So this is what I do with many of my clients. At the beginning of the year, I tell them what the required minimum distribution is going to be. Okay. Some of them move it every year. Some of them it is exactly the same amount. Pat, I'm giving $30,000 a year. Here's the list of the charities. And then We just send a check right over to the charities. Then we take the remaining amount. So in your situation, you said, I'm going to tithe. So I'm going to use the number, just $20,000 a year. And then the other distributions of approximately $3,400 a month, we send directly to you, and we withhold taxes. And we do it every January. We actually do the planning in December. I tell them the required minimum distributions, and we just push it out of the way.
But to take it one step further, Pat, and I'm sure this is what you do anyway. But Steve, let's assume for a minute. Let's just assume that let's assume your pension's $30,000. Let's assume that your family Social Security is $50,000. So we have $80,000 there, and we're assuming that your required minimum distribution is $60,000. Okay.
Yeah.
So $140,000 of total income. You want to tithe on that 140. That's what you told me. That would be $14,000.
And you work backwards from them. So
So if I were in your position, I would take my pension. I'd have it all come home. I'd have my Social Security all come home, and then I'd take my 401k. I would have $14,000 of that distribution go directly to my charities, the church or whatever you're going to give to. I'd have those go directly there because you're probably not able to take an itemized deduction of your charitable contributions. And if it comes out of your 401k or your IRA as part of the required minimum distribution, it doesn't even show up on your tax return.
That is exactly how I do it.
And then you've satisfied that 10%, and you've done it in the most tax efficient manner.
So one time I did. We had a church building project. So I took $20,000 out of my retirement for 401k, and made a direct transfer right to the church.
It came from.
This was at age 70.
Yes, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, that was the right thing to do.
So I mean I know the principle, but what I didn't know is it could be done. I could diversify the distribution. So
yes.
So if I've got several,
yes,
a church and other organizations,
the food bank or whatever it is.
Yes, that's. I think of her. I actually met her through church. We were on it. Strangely enough, I was running a capital campaign in the church, and she was volunteer, and so I explained it to all the people that were volunteering how to do this. And she came up afterwards and said, I wish my advisor had told me that. And she became a client. And to this date, 15 years later, not that long. Anyway, to this date, I get a list of the charities, their addresses, social tax ID numbers, and the amounts. And we just fire it off just like that.
So
we do 4 or 5 of them.
If I just go to my 401k administrator and say, I've got these 5
Well, your 401k administrator may or may not. The tax law allows that to happen, and most IRA custodians will accommodate that. Whether or not your 401k administrator accommodates that, I don't know, because they don't have that many people over age 70 with balances still.
That's right. That's why I suggested that you may want to move your 401k to an IRA now, because it's just easier to administrate.
I actually did about a third of that. I put it into an IRA.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, well then you've done it. So you understand the whole concept. You can name as many charities as you want.
Okay, that's a great idea, actually.
Well, we didn't actually create it. We just memorized the rules.
You call this? Yeah, it was not our idea.
It wasn't ours.
By the way, if you're stealing from me, you're stealing twice. So.
That's right, because you took it from someone else. It was just the American government's ongoing plan to make the tax code more complicated was part of that.
Yeah, and that way, if you're looking at what your required minimum distributions are, and when good years it's going to be more, on not so good years it's going to be less.
Or you could just fix a dollar amount, or you could do wherever your heart leads you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, appreciate the call.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much. God bless you guys.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you, Steve.